Hey, these 3 keys to consistency are universal to everyone, regardless of your swing technique. So really dive in, and you'll probably hear me say some of the things over and over, but that's meant to get into your subconscious, so it just starts becoming natural and autonomous.
Isn't that the greatest feeling in the world when you just flush it and hit it solid? That's what we're all looking for, are those keys to consistency. I'm going to go over that today. 3 keys to consistency: lead arm structure, posture, and sequence. I'm Dana DeSarle, PGA professional. I know golf is effing hard, or I wouldn't have a job. I'm trying to keep it simple for you, and we're going to go over those details today. All right, let's get to it. All right, so keeping it simple, you'd be surprised how many students come to me and their ball position is off. So the funny thing is, when you line up your clubs, it kind of puts it where it's supposed to be naturally, starting with the wedge. So the wedge for me is a little back, maybe a couple inches back of center. This is 7 iron, just back of center. This is my 3 hybrid. Now we're starting to move forward from center. 3 wood inside the left heel, and driver pretty much now with the modern drivers on the left toe, making sure we're hitting it on the upswing. And then staying centered in this center line as well as a real key. So we're going to talk about, when you see those swing videos, staying right on top of it, covering the ball with the chest. And then ball position, finding your correct ball position, huge. All right, the other key is consistent distance from ball with enough extension in the arms to give yourself plenty of room. I mean, a good rule of thumb is to make sure there's at least one hand that can go in between the thigh and the back of the left wrist there. So for me, if you watched my previous video last Friday where I talk about effortless power comes from the extension of the arms to get as much width as possible, you could see here we still want that consistent with each club. And the easiest way to do that is when you set up to basically aim the club face, have your left arm reach out to where you're the most comfortable and you have plenty of room, then grip it. Now you're in that good setup position. And then lastly, spine angle. If you're moving up and down and back and forth, your low point's going to be all over the place. So let's take a look at some spine angle. Basically, with the driver, we need to stay in that same angle, making sure we're not moving up and down. Same thing here, making sure this neck and spine are in alignment. I can't tell you how many times people come to me with their head down and their chin is down. That's the worst thing you could do. When you get your chin down with head down and then you try to make a swing, your shoulder, you can't make a full shoulder turn and it moves you off the ball and you sway. So this posture and spine angle is so important. And then especially, for low point control with the irons, we got to stay right on top of it, chest over the center line, staying in our posture so that we're clipping the ground right here very consistently. If we early extend and stand up, now we're going to thin it. If we drop and dip down, now you're going to hit it heavy. So staying in that spine angle. I mean, a number of ways to do it. You can just sit here and drill back and forth, staying stable, making sure the back of the club point's there. A lot of times you have to watch the ball. That helps people stay in there. But always check and make sure that your neck and spine are in alignment. You can just put the club right there, and that's a good starting point for you to feel that motion. And then just nice and stable there. So stable spine angle. And so now the other piece of this is the lead arm and shaft alignment for forward shaft lean and contact. But at address, this should all be in one line from a consistency aspect, and distance from ball should be the same. We'll take a look on that on the down the line. But drivers here, and that's why you'll see in some swings, I set it behind a little bit. And then 7 iron here. Now we're more towards the middle, but this is all still in line. And then same thing with wedge. This is all in line, but now the wedge ball position is back. So that's why the ball position is back, and we're staying with this lead arm and shaft in alignment. That's a good baseline. too many times students come to me and they're starting here, and that's just not a good place to start from, because as we know, impact is here with forward shaft lean. So left arm relation and shaft is a great starting point along with ball. Now let's go ahead and demonstrate this ball position and alignment with the lead arm and the club shaft. So this is a wedge, so this is going to be right about in the middle. So we're right in the middle, good distance from ball, good spine angle, and then just normal swing. Okay, now you can see the down the line view. So we have our distance from ball, we extend our lead arm out, put our trail arm on, good distance from ball. We want that spine and neck alignment, and then keep that all stable. And now, building on that lead arm, if you haven't watched my previous video, the lead arm drill, you'll need to go and watch this video. It just works. But what that does, it just does so many things. But watch that full video. But you get used to distance from ball with the lead arm, also getting in that alignment with the lead arm. And when you're doing it, you're staying in sequence, meaning hip, chest, lead arm, then trail arm and club extending through. So from a sequence perspective, even just putting your arms out like this, medicine ball throws in the gym, just back and then having your lead hip clear. But a lot of times, like if you're playing, you can just get in a rhythm feeling this, just making sure the lead hip is pulling back, the center line follows, the lead arm, then the trail arm and club. And then staying stable on the center line through impact, stable posture, and those are really the keys to consistent, crisp contact every time. Okay, so now we've got 7-iron, and you'll notice with shaft lean, that club face is square, but it could appear that it's a little hooded because that's all in line. So that's just kind of my preference there, because I have a little more shaft lean. But we've got our distance from ball. This is a 7-iron. So now this is going to be more in the middle, distance from ball. This is all in alignment. And then we're keeping our center line stable throughout the swing. Okay, so here we are now. We feel out our distance from ball and our neck and spine angle. And we just want to keep that neck and spine angle and distance from ball consistent. That's pretty good there. Okay, so here we are keeping this relationship and this lead arm and shaft in alignment. So now with the driver, for me, in a previous video, notice how I keep the driver back behind the ball, so it allows that to stay in that line without having to move up and open my shoulders. So that keeps my shoulders square. That's my preference. So distance from ball, that little bit of shaft lean still, ball's up on the left foot. For me, the club hovers behind, and keeping the center line stable and right in line throughout the swing. That one's pretty good. So here we are with driver now. Same thing, consistent distance from ball. Lead arm is extended. We want to stay in good posture and spine angle with spine and neck throughout the swing. So to sum it up, trying to keep it as simple as possible, your solid contact checklist is distance from ball, lead arm and club in the same line, and stable spine angle. Those are 3 keys. If you just focus on those 3 things, distance from ball, having this lead arm and shaft in alignment, and staying in spine angle, those 3 things will get you on your way for sure. So if you like this, of course, subscribe, like, and watch the channel for my weekly lessons. And then of course, if you're online and you want an online lesson, go to my homepage there, click on the Coach Now link, and you can do an online lesson with me. All right, thanks for watching.